So this was 2 weeks ago, going into JoAnn's to see what was left, and everything at this point was just marked down 60%. I did grab 4 of these little pink collapsible bins because I do need them for the retreat for next year. So that's the only thing I'll be sharing that I did pick up. But then I was walking around the store just to see what else they had. And they had a lot of these welcome mats that I thought was really nice. And then they had some storage containers. And then as you can see here, I'll talk a little later about these little mini whisks, which were good. And there was a lot of, at least 2 weeks ago, there was a lot of yarn that was still available. And actually, to my surprise, there was more fabric than I thought would be there. A lot of knit was there. I did go into the knit aisle just to see if there was anything particular maybe that I wanted, but I decided not to get anything, and I looked on both sides of the aisle. This aisle had a lot of, while pretty printed knits, wasn't really my style, so I bypassed all of that and decided to head over, and I scored on this bin. This bin had so many buttons in it, but when I started looking around, there were a lot of wooden buttons. And so I pretty much picked all of those up. And then I walked around just to see what the thread was looking like. And actually, all of this thread was mainly embroidery thread and quilt cotton thread. And so I did not get any of that. And then this thread was also quilting thread, and did not get any of that. They had, obviously you can see all of the zippers are gone, and there was a lot of polyfill, boxes of polyfill, but then I went on the other side where some more zippers were, and they had more on this side and tons in the drawer. And I actually picked up quite a few, but you'll hear later in the video, I put all the ones I grabbed on this particular day back, because I end up going back a week, I think a week or week and a half after this video. But yeah, so now I am going through the aisles looking at the crafts. They had a lot of craft things there. They had stuff for Cricut, kid things, craft items. They had a lot of home decor, like framed pictures, a few little jewelry if people are into jewelry making. They had some stuff, and then they had more baking type items and craft paper and all of that still left. But yeah, that was pretty much it. I did not do another video from my second trip 4 days before, but you will hear and see everything that I did manage to pick up. Hey everybody, so that was an intro to my last walkthrough at JoAnn Fabrics, and so I do have a few things that I picked up. I have this bag over here, then I have bags on the floor, and then things over here. Most of the things I picked up is not for sewing, it's not sewing related, but were good deals. But let me take you on over to the table and share with you what I actually picked up. Okay, so you're probably not interested in the non-sewing stuff, but real quick, I wanted to show you. This is actually for my other business I'm doing some things for. And so these little flowers were so cute. Obviously they're fake, but they were so cute, and they look really good in person. And so just that. And then I have, it was a lot of greenery. You see a lot of purple in there, but this is again for my business. And this stuff was all, this all was 80% off. And I had gotten a lot of stuff like this. Again, this is stuff for my other business that I'll be doing some stuff for. But anyway, I needed to take this out of the bag because all of the buttons, I scored so many good buttons. Not that I necessarily needed buttons, but I do like different styles of wooden buttons, and so they had so many. So it was at the bottom of that bag, and as you can I don't know if, sorry all that rustling, but I went on 2 different days. So the first video clip you saw was from, I think, 2 weeks ago, and then the clip you just saw, the second clip was from just the other day. And so I got our store, I had received the email for the location that's nearest me is closing on May 26th. And so I was like, I'm gonna go back just to see, because that first trip I had picked up all those zippers. I put them all back. I didn't buy them, and because I was thinking, I, you know, it was kind of, I didn't know. So I put them all back. I said, if I miss out, I miss out. But when I saw the email that our location was closing on May 26th, I was like, let me go back and see if they still have any of those zippers left. It was almost like those zippers didn't move. They were pretty well stocked. Almost looked exactly the same on that day. And when I went back, everything that particular day, actually it was the 22nd, 23rd, I don't remember, 22nd or 23rd, when I went back that day, it was, no, that's a Friday, it was on that day 70% off of everything in the store, plus an additional 25% off. And so I was like, what? Let me go around. And so I'm gonna show you these buttons. So the buttons I got at that first trip 2 weeks ago, so the buttons were only like, I thought I saved the receipt so I can tell you, but the buttons end up only being like 30 cents, 10 cents, something like that, between 10, I don't think they were over 20 cents. And so I picked up all of these, and I'll share. Let me just scan down real quick so you can see all of the buttons that I got. But I grabbed up all of the wooden buttons, wooden looking buttons, and then I picked up a couple other ones that are not wooden, but you'll be able to see here when I pan this down. So let me show you the buttons that I picked up. So here are all the buttons I picked up. You see they're normally like $3.49. They were like 20 cents maybe. Not even, maybe not even that much. But anyway, I really liked these, and so I picked up all of the wooden buttons that I saw in the bin. So yeah, and then I picked up these as well. But yeah, these were all of the buttons that I picked up. So when I went back and they had that 70% off plus an additional 25% off, let me tell you, first of all, I was like, okay, I'm so happy that I went. The store was pretty much, they had roped off, and maybe others in your location, you've seen this, as they're breaking down and tearing down the store. Everything that's, you know, was in the back or furthest back in the store, they started pushing up to the front of the store, because the back of the store, at least at my location, they were all roped off, and they were breaking down all the shelves and everything like that, and really pretty much emptying, you know, getting rid of everything out of the store. And so yeah, when I went back, let me tell you, first thing I saw, there were a few things I saw that I was surprised they had a ton of, that were sewing notions. And so let me just tell you, yes, I racked up for the retreat. I racked up for the retreat. So there are some things that's going in the goodie bags that I could not believe I scored for 95% off. I was like, what? So it's going to be a lot of extra things in the goodie bags for 2026. And for those who are interested, the retreat is held here in Texas, outside of Houston. We have 2 instructors. One of the classes is included in the price, the other is optional, because not everybody may be interested in the bra sewing particularly. And so, because I did a poll, and so then we just kind of base it off of that. So you'll just pay additional for that, but it's a special rate for those who are attending the retreat. Of course, that's Nikki, and of course the trouser class is Isabel. And so if you are interested, payment plan options are always available. Come on to Texas, y'all. I have so much planned, and remember that is Valentine's weekend, and so yeah, got some special things planned. So I scored a lot of stuff for notions for the, well, quite a few items, I will say, for notions to put in the goodie bags that I was surprised was there, and or that much of what I found was there. So I was like, this is brilliant. But anyway, so the other thing that I picked up was, so for those who don't know, my husband actually, and those who were at the retreat know, and those who came a couple years know already, and I mentioned this in passing probably on the channel, but my husband has a baking business as well, right, outside of his full-time job. So I picked up, they had a few baking things left, which was these little whisks. And so he has an event that's coming up that we're doing some little fun packaging, and so these whisks end up being 80 cents. Were they 80 cents? I forgot the price of these, but I know they were like regular price. These little things, regular price was like $5-6 or something like that. But anyway, they were 8 cents. They're mini whisks. So I grabbed quite a few of those because we, like I said, we have some packaging ideas for him, and then some different things he'll be doing, and then these clear party bags, treat bags. So for those who, I mean, this is also for him too, for something else he's working on. But I will say, I know by the time you see my video is going up on Sunday, I believe the 25th. So I don't know if your store is open in your area, and just some things to think about. If you have wedding planning, because this is wedding planning season, if you have baked good, you know, you do treats and different things, treat bags, stuff like that, or you want some good, you know, some nice little trinket fun ideas to create little things, get over there. Because I mean, I don't know, your place may or may not have this stuff, some baking items, because I had already picked him up some football shaped cookie cutters, which he used cookie cutters for different stuff. And so football shape was, I mean, that was easy. I picked up a few of those for him the last trip. So that is what I picked up for him. And then I have, let me just pan you down so you can see this bag full of zippers. All of these zippers were 80 cents maybe. I think the most expensive one, it was one that was 48 inches long. That was like $1.20. But I have this whole bag full of zippers. And the most of the zippers I picked up were these purse zippers, because they're dual sliding zippers, and they're all black. But I have some ideas for these for something else, for other projects outside of sewing, for all of the purse zippers, obviously for handbags and some other projects. But I picked up, I don't know, maybe 10 of these. These were only like 80 cents. I don't know, where's the receipt? Okay, here's the receipt. It said I spent $165. Again, some of this stuff was for the $165 stuff was for my husband, for me personally, and for my other business. And so yeah, so this doesn't include the retreat stuff, but that's on a separate check. But yeah, $165. It says I saved $262. Oh, the whisk was normally $4.49. $1.10, and the $1.10 ones are like the real long ones. But I did get some fashion separating zippers. These, the gold with the gold teeth. The separating sport, the 26-inch one. And I got same length 24-inch separating. I got a few of these. So, and then I got navy blue. And yeah, see, this real long one was $1.10. This is 48 inches. I got a couple of these just because I was thinking, what if I make a jacket or something like that that call for a longer zipper, because I have made some of those projects in the past. At least I have the zipper. So yeah, I was like, I mean, normally, what was these zippers? I feel like they were normally, oh, I can look. Okay, I see I was looking at the wrong receipt. Those prices weren't for, that was for my trip 2 weeks ago. I don't know where the receipt is, what I did with that one. But anyway, so, but these zippers, these long zippers were like normally $6 or something. But to get them for $1.10 and a few others for 90 cents was really good. So that was my final trip to JoAnn's. It was, you know, seeing them breaking down everything was like, whoa, it's really over. But I do know a lot of people who were, they still had a lot of yarn, at least at mine. I'm not a crocheter or a knitter, but they did have a lot of yarn left still. And they did have some fabric, but it was all like fleece, that type thing. And so maybe, yeah, I don't know. And I did find out, I asked about the patterns because all the patterns were going in the drawer. Come to find out, a week before I came, the lady told me that they tossed all of those patterns in the garbage, and they were not allowing anybody to dumpster dive or anything for them if they did not buy them. And she told me, at least at that particular location, they never did go below $4.99 for the patterns. And so I was like, because she said, the worker, she said, I was even waiting for them to go down to $1.99. She said they never did, at least at my particular location. So maybe some others did, but that is it. That's my haul. I'm gonna wrap up this video, but stay tuned for next week. Sunday is the sewing buzz. Have so much to tell you, have so much to share with you. And I did pick up a couple fabrics from Hobby Lobby. I know, don't come for me about Hobby Lobby, but I did pick up some fabric there, so I'll share that. I'll probably share that in my next video because I think this video is kind of long already. So anyway, that is it. Let me know if you were able to score finally at JoAnn's in the final couple days that your location was open. So that is it, everybody. Thank you for tuning in today. I greatly appreciate it. You all have a blessed rest of your week. I'll see you in June, and we will be back to 2 videos a week, Sundays and Wednesdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right, everybody, have a blessed one. Bye.